So far, so good, guys. Cross your fingers. That doesn't count. The music hiccup, that doesn't count. Mm-mm. All right, let's go. Sound. I don't even need to check it, guys. I don't even need to check it because it's already good. It's already good. What's up, guys? What is up? What's going on? What are we doing? I got multiple screens here now. I got things on all over the place. What's up? How many people do we even have? I don't even know. I don't even know. Visual. What's up, Rachel? Ava's here. DMZoo. Slick new splash screen from Scatterbug. Scatterbug himself, the artist. I might have another little art snippet from Scatterbug that he also made. So, woohoo! Yes. Oh, the mic, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's red, you know. So they didn't have a purple version. They did not have the purple. What's up, Wyatt? What's up, Wyatt? Hey, you see Scatterbug? There he is. There he is. Hey, Game King, what's up? What's up, DMI Bex? Hey! Oh, everybody's coming together. Everybody's coming together. Nice. And check out, I have some. Oh no, I want to save that overlay. I have not figured out overlays. I am looking into getting some overlays and some animated graphics and whatnot for all of this. It's literally in the works. The channel sponsor is working on some animations to come in that kind of appear on the screen and whatnot. So for now, until then, I have this cool thing. Oh, ooh, see that? Cool. That's picking up from last time. So I got stuff like that. I got little things that could come up on the screen. Whoo, buddy. So we're moving. Oh, I took out chat. Okay, there we go. All right. So here's how this is gonna go, guys. We're doing a Q&A. We're in a good old Q&A. How it's gonna work is I want to get right into it because it's 6:01. Let's go. How we're gonna do it is if you have a question that you want me to answer, type hashtag question in all caps. Got to make it easy for my moderators to snag hashtag question and then say your question. Hurry up now because I don't know how many people are here. With all the things on my screen, I don't know how many people are here. I'll probably have a more efficient setup next time, but I have no idea how many people are here. DC Artificer, that was royalty-free music. Epidemic Sound. I do have a subscription to them, so we're good. I'll figure out a different way to, instead of just blasting it through my speakers and having this pick it up. So, hashtag question. Throws your question out there. And my moderators are going to snag. We have moderators now, guys. What's up? If they have a little wrench. I wish it was a sword or something. I don't know if I can change that. But anyway. Playing potions. What's up, man? Lot 64. Sebastian. Hey. Visual. Oh, God. If you ask me a question about a goat, I'm going to lose it. Oh, God. Here we go. The artist that did my Percy the Demon Goat is in the chat. Who drew the Demon Goat? Welcome to the stream. The Dungeon Goat stream. So if you have a question, hit it in there. Oh my goodness, there's so many questions coming through now. So my moderators are going to snag them. We're getting more and more legit, guys. We got moderators. We got Lots of stuff. If you want to super chat, I assume that the super chat would actually have a question with it this time. A lot of times I'll just super chat some random word or something about goats or whatever. But if you have a super chat, you get to the front of the line because you're awesome. And yeah, so I got a bunch of questions. We're gonna try and go through them. I'm not gonna spend too much time on each question, but any level of super chat, get your question in there, depending on if you really want to get it answered if you're late to the party. So here we go. Well, Avalon Link's first question is just hashtag question. So interesting. Brian, let me see. Is this the first one? Yeah. Okay. Brian Wilds it. Question. How do you handle treasure? How much when making across the party, etc.? All right. So that's a great question. Treasure. I don't roll on roll tables. I'll say that right now. I don't roll on entirely. I'll say I don't roll on. Oh, you found this treasure hoard. Here we go. Roll a bunch of dice, and then they're sitting there rolling dice at the table. I have them pre-made if they're going to go somewhere. I have them. If this is a big encounter, if it's a big boss, if it's a big thing that's going on, I have it predetermined of what would make sense that's in there, and if I have a magic item, maybe from the book or from that I'm modifying or tweaking. Very rarely do I ever give out straight up magic items straight up from the book. So yeah, but I'll put a flavor or twist on it depending on where they're at. So if they're in a green dragon's lair, might have some poison stuff going on. But I homebrew them, I put them in there, and then I also keep my players in mind of what would be cool for them. And then I put some things in there that they don't know who it's like supposed to be for, because I kind of want it to be like, I wonder who would use this thing. So I usually do that, and then if it's a huge loot hoard, then I might roll on I go to the Dungeon Master's Guide. There's a really cool table to create an item from scratch, like an artifact from scratch. I use that, and that's about it. I don't pre-make them. I do have on the back of my Dungeon Master screen, I have a random loot table of a D20 list of random magic items and random mundane items. So if they happen to stumble across something I feel like should have loot or maybe even magic loot or whatever, and I'm not prepared for it, I am prepared for it because that D20 list. So, heck yeah. Oh, my moderators are saying that they can't see the chat. Hashtag questions? What? That's weird. Maybe y'all shouldn't say hashtag question. Can y'all see it? Huh. It's frozen? That's weird. Interesting. All right. That's gonna be difficult. Oh God, see, there's our first technical difficulty. It's all my moderator's fault though. I'm just kidding. This is the first time I've had moderators, guys. I don't know. Not sure if my chat is working right now. Chat's frozen. Chat froze. It looks like it just cut up. Y'all's chat? Oh, okay. So I will say this. Chat froze for me a little bit too. Because I asked the question thing and then I didn't see him, and I got a ton of questions that came through like whoom, all at once. So that is interesting. Refresh the page. Still didn't fix it. They restarted the phone and still didn't fix it. See, this is YouTube now, guys. I have everything is in place. All right, well, while this is all getting figured out, I don't think I should refresh. I'm not about to refresh and crash the freaking stream. So, all right, here we go. You know what? Here's how we might do this. Then I'm gonna grab some of these questions, but then we might do like a question, and I'll just do the question that I see, right? Oh gosh, it's all coming for me now. Okay, so I think they're getting all the questions. So here we go. Just keep asking your question. If you don't know, I'll let you know if I switch to that. Right now, I'm just going to be going through here. So here we go. Ava has a question. How do you keep energy up when you're burned out with DMing? I hate seeing this within my fellow DMs out there. Is the burnout, the sadness caused, whether it's from group issues outside of the game or players not wanting to do this or that, or it's just literally been doing it for so long. I don't know. I would say spice it up and do something exciting that you want to do. Like I think the only time that I've even kind of felt this is when my players are going to go north. And what's going to be cool is eventually when I share all my campaign stories, y'all will know what parts of the campaign I'm talking about. But my group was heading north, and they were going to go to the Rykul village, homebrew race in my campaign, basically Goliaths. They were going to go to this big thing. I had this whole thing planned out, but then my player had some real life stuff and he couldn't go to that. So the players then had to divert, and I was like, man, I spent all this time doing this big thing. I was so prepared, and now I'm not prepared. Like, what the heck? So I was like, I want to do a heist. I want to do a heist. That's really I just wanted to do a heist. And so I made sure that where they were going centered around a heist, right? So, I mean, I still had the story, I still had the campaign, this was still going on, the overarching villain plots and everything, but I wanted to do a heist, so I freaking did a heist, and I was so excited about it. So, I wouldn't say I was, like, burnt out, but that would definitely be a tip I do, is throw something at me you're excited about. We got questions coming through now. All right, I'm back up to date on the chat. Also, thank you. Oh, cool. Thanks, Brian. Great answer. I got you, man. I got you. New subscriber from a while ago. Random question. Oh, see, Lee Gladiator put question and then didn't show the question. All the messages are coming through now. All right, chat just caught up. We're good. All right. Anyway, so I got actually questions now. My moderators are throwing down. See, look, guys. See, are y'all breaking the internet again? Are y'all breaking the internet? I still gotta fix that whole internet situation. We were halfway through with all the donations last time. Okay, we got next question from Gonzor. Question: Would you rather have bad players or non-committal players who don't care about the game? Ooh, how would you deal with the latter if that was your only option? I would much rather have bad players. I would just want my players to enjoy the game. If they enjoy the game, I'm enjoying the game. Like, that's my whole purpose, is to let them enjoy it. And if they're like non-committal and who cares, whatever, I would get new players. I mean that might sound like mean, or no, you should really talk to them. Like, yeah, you should talk to them and like see what they want to play and make sure that you as a DM are doing everything you can do to make a game that's exciting for them. But if they don't care, then my philosophy, I do this in coaching, I do this in teaching, is I will always care just a little bit more than you do. You know what I mean? So if you're super crazy passionate, oh my God, I want to be the best. Like, I want to have this new backstory and this new thing, and my family did this and all this kind of stuff. I'm right there with you. I'm just ahead of you, right? Because I want to kind of match or hype up your excitement, right? So if my players don't care at all, I don't want to play that kind of game. So, it feels bad. So I would much rather have some bad players and then coach them up, right? Hey, coach them up and turn them into good players. I could do a whole video on that. I had a player, Dalar, and I'm not talking about behind his back. We've openly talked about this. Is when he first started out, he never played even any game like this. Didn't play video games really. And he threw into this. He made some awful plays that was always funny to kind of talk about afterwards. But then he made some epic moves and had one of the biggest moves in the final boss fight of the campaign. It was crazy. So, all right. Oh my goodness, 2 super chats. What? Wait. How? It says 3 super chats from Ava. What's happening? Did the chat freeze up again? I don't know. I think chat's going to be going on and off, guys. Maybe that might be the thing. Ava says, putting a quarter into the internet to fix the machine. Oh my gosh, has she done it again? Or maybe I'm broken. I'm either broken or I don't know. So we're gonna do this, and then I think she threw out 20. So what? I don't know. The chat is the chat's in an interesting situation here. All right, so Ava doesn't even have a question. She just threw out $5. I don't know. But no question there. I got you. You're trying to fix the internet through super chats. Oh, that's how y'all broke the internet last time, actually. So I don't know. All right. And I'm gonna put a reaction. Mods put a reaction on the things that I comment on, so that I can know that where my eyes go. All right. From Jacob Lower. Jacob Lower. And then. Oh, no, I only did one? Oh, gosh. So Ava said she only did one. Oh, my God, there's a 5th one. What? Okay, so interesting. Whoa, what? Um, that's interesting. So my internet is going crazy, I guess. No, but no, it says you have five, and there's the sixth one. I don't even know what's happening anymore. So we're gonna go back to the questions, guys. Chat's wonky, keeps freezing, refresh it, go back and forth. Hey, at least this is solid. Okay, so you keep asking questions, I'll keep throwing it down. We'll get through this together, guys. So Jacob Lowe here. Question: when did you start DMing, and do you even like playing as a player anymore? This is an interesting question. The answer is going to surprise you. I should make a video on this because this is a question I get asked a lot. I have been DMing for about 3.5 years. Let that sink in for a second. I've only been DMing for like 3 to 4 years. I came into the hobby super late. I wish I found it sooner, but in some ways, I wish I didn't find it sooner. I think one of the coolest things is that I feel like I was built for this game. Like my whole life I've been training for Dungeons and Dragons. I didn't know it. Like I was in theater in high school. I've always loved to draw. I've always loved creating and crafting stuff. I've always done voices. I've always just been creative, and anytime we were playing board games, I would like change the rules of the board game, like Monopoly. Like, what if we do this rule instead? I think that would fix the game. I've always been a homebrewing, but I didn't know I was homebrewing. And then I was a huge gamer, video games, World of Warcraft. So whenever I came to Dungeons and Dragons, I was like, I can do whatever I want. Holy crap. And then I just ran with it with no restrictions. I never played first edition, second, third, fourth edition. 3.5. I'm just clean slate. I just approach the game with this. And a lot of people have said like, oh, you have fresh perspective, different perspective. Like, I think that's why is I didn't play since I was in high school. All these different people out there, and most of the D&D YouTubers have been playing for forever. I think out of all the D&D YouTubers, I've probably have the least amount of game time logged. But I have put in a crap load of hours once I did find the game and dive into it. So yeah, that's that whole situation. So when I approached the game from the gate, my first campaign I ever ran, my first campaign was a 3-year-long homebrew campaign. Wouldn't necessarily recommend doing that. I should have ran a module or something, but I have been homebrewing since the first right out the gate. So there's the answer to that question. Yeah, I think YouTube is drunk, Piper. Yeah, that's crazy. So, and I still, the chat is still locked up there. So I'm going to keep answering the questions that we had from the beginning. So here we go. And then another thing from Jacob said, and by the way, Ava, you have donated probably $50 worth of $5 super chats. Yeah, so that's interesting. Okay, so next question. Question from I can't read that name. Yeah, it's not even the English language. So there we go. Question from AT is what it kind of looks like. How can you change the power of an artifact you created if you see it's too powerful? One thing I would say is anytime you homebrew an item, and I had this approach with my players and they respected it, is I'm going to homebrew stuff, guys. I'm going crazy. I'm going to be homebrewing stuff. But if I mess up, don't freak out if we have to tweak it some. Sometimes, very rarely, did a homebrew of mine just go off the rails and I had to literally like, okay, never mind, and just completely trash it. I would try and implement story mechanics to make that thing happen, right? To make it go or break it or disable it in some way to nerf it, right? Through some sort of story means instead of just like, hey, that thing now doesn't do that, you know? So I would say it's always easier to err on the side of lower, like err on the side of a weaker item, and then it can unlock and stuff, right? And whenever you create items like that, I do this all the time. When you create an item and you homebrew it, and then you can make it grow through how they use it, grow through unlocking, doing certain things, and you don't even have to know what those things are. You can just come up with them as time goes on, right? So yeah, I think one thing that there's an item that is the first time they used it, it was crazy broken. I was like, oh wow, okay. So then I implemented some sort of decaying component, or the light didn't come back for a longer period of time, or they need to find a magic person to recharge it, or come up with story things to try and fix it there. So, another super chat to break up all of. Oh no. Now it's going back and forth. The Wicked Turtle super chat and Ava's super chat are now back and forth on my screen. It's just saying that they're constantly a chain reaction donating back and forth, back and forth. That's crazy. So thank you guys. So Wicked Turtle. I am in the same place. I only got into D&D a year ago. I've never had anything feed my imagination the way D&D has. I totally agree, dude. Like, I've talked with so many people, whether it's my patrons that I talk to one-on-one or, like, people in the community, comments, whatever, is like, oh, I've only been DMing for like a year and a half. I'm like, that's cool. That doesn't make you any less of a DM. I think there's experience and there's things that you can do. And I could probably do a video on this too about how to get better at DMing faster. Right? And that's kind of what I'm trying to do is I got much better at DMing very quickly by watching a crap load of YouTube videos, reading a ton of articles online, practicing it, tweaking it. I used my coaching approach that I use in sports and applied it to Dungeons and Dragons of what is my goal for this session? I'm going to run a legendary monster without forgetting legendary resistances or legendary actions, legendary resistances, layer actions, all that stuff. That's my goal, right? I would literally write down goals and make sure I achieved them or worked on them, right? So, yes, awesome. That's awesome, Wicked Turtle. Thank you. All right, so I'm going through the questions now. We're probably super backlogged with questions here. Also, how many people do we even have? I can't even see that. We're just going to keep rolling. Next question. Sebastian Boyer. Question: is there a way to make your players play the game less like it's a video game? I know what you're talking about. So I feel like another way to answer this, or not answer this question, another thing about this is the min-maxers, people like power gaming. They go do the most optimal thing, and I go here, and then I go, So I would say just since your players are playing it like a video game, use that knowledge as a DM to trump them, to beat them. They're going to do this thing, so twist it, make it not like it's going to be. Like in a video game, certain things are going to happen. I guess there's twists in video games too, but you can literally twist it on them on the fly. You know what I'm saying? Game King, thank you. 76. What's what? I think is that a record? No, I think our record's 79 or 80. I don't know. Hundreds on our way. Where was I going? Okay, no, less like a video game. I would just say know that your players are trying to play it like a video game and try and spin it on them. Try and make things different and shake it up because that's what they're trying to do. That's a really good question though, and I really would want to go into more detail on that because I would say this for myself. I use inspiration from video games to enhance the mechanics in my combats and stuff. But you would have to give me a specific example about a way that they're doing a video game thing, because I think that's really general. Are they doing it like quest-wise, item-wise, choices-wise? Here's another thing, is if they are trying to min-max, which I think might be what you're saying, and like, I'm going to pick this, and I'm going to have to do this, and I'm going to get this feat, and all this kind of stuff. If they pick things that are less optimal, right? If they do things that are less optimal, they choose level up options that are less optimal, I will give them more cool stuff, right? I'll be like, oh my gosh, like that's so cool that you did that. I want to give them, that's why I do bonus level ups. I keep coming back to it all the time. Bonus level up perks. Whenever they do cool stuff, I want to give them rewards, and if they do cool stuff that's more role play centric and less video game centric, then I'm going to give them more cool stuff. But if they pick the most super optimal thing, then they're going to be very powerful already. I don't give them as much of a cool thing because I love rewarding creative role play. All right, next question. Lot 64. Is there a big idea you've always wanted to publish? Do you know something? Lot 64. Do you know something? Oh, LOL. Lult 64. All right, Ender. You're. No. Ender Scroll. Ender Scroll's the moderator that said that. Okay. LOL 64. I'll announce this right now. It's not necessarily an announcement, but I will say I am planning a Kickstarter. What? Dungeon Coach Kickstarter? It's going to probably be launching around the summer, because in the summer I'll have more time because I'm working and volleyball and then newborn kid and all this kind of stuff. So there's no way I would want to take on a Kickstarter right now. I've never done one. I am planning on doing a Kickstarter, and it would be a D&D 5.5 edition. Lots of stuff that I would be going through that. If you haven't noticed, if my hardcore people out there that have watched all my videos, if you take a big step back and look at all my videos, you will see that I am going through the player's handbook and really the Dungeon Master's Guide and tackling multiple different game categories entirely, to the rest system, traveling, combat, house rules for other things, attunement rules, all this other kind of stuff, right? So that's the plan right now. But that is to come, and a lot of the PDFs that I'm working on, I got a PDF crew that we're doing now as part of the Dungeon Company. Lots of stuff's coming on that, so very nice. Also, DC Artificer, make sure you stay on top of me for the time, because you're really good at doing that, and I don't want to run over because we got the baby bottle situation, you know what I'm saying. All right, next question from Scream Team. Question: how would you create epic level PCs? How would you create epic level PCs? Levels 21 through 30, Archmage, for example. For simplistic sake, what ideas would you have for a monk and a fighter? So honestly, I could totally see, if the campaign wanted it, if the players wanted it, if that was like the goal, I could totally see that levels up past 21 through 30. What I would do is, once that player hit like 20, once we hit 20, I would have a conversation with them and talk with them and have some sort of maybe leading up before that, and I would just get a sense of if that's something they want to do. But you could easily start to pick on another take on another class, right? Or if they already have multi-class before that, they have plenty of stuff to still get from those other classes, right? So I had a barbarian that was barbarian sorcerer, but he was like I think 18, no. He was 17 levels of barbarian, 3 levels sorcerer. So that was super cool. But if he keeps going, he can keep getting the rest of barbarian. He can keep getting more into sorcerer, whatever. Or this is when an opportunity, I would say, at level 20 to do this like champion capstone thing. You're talking about monk fighter. It'd be a monk fighter, and then he could pick up some stuff from a paladin. Maybe he can enchant his punches with, so keep taking from those other classes. And that's also why I have bonus level up mechanics, is when you do level up, you get some cool stuff, and I would just keep giving them cool stuff. I wouldn't like run out, of cool stuff. I would just keep challenging them to flush out their character in new and different directions of how they're going to be so powerful. But then, that would be a crazy game scaled up to past level 20. I think chat's up to date now. That's the only thing I've been sad about is I can't like see all the chat and stuff. I think it looks good now. Newborn kid, yeah, he's like almost 4 weeks old. Or 4 months old, almost 4 months old. So thanks, Jacob. Take my money now for that Kickstarter, Stefan. Hey, I'm saying it's coming. It's a coming. Chat unfreeze, up to date. Hey, cool. All right. So DM Ibex, what's up, man? Question: where did you get inspiration for in-game puzzles? With puzzles, man, I actually have a video I've been working on. I have 3 videos I'm working on simultaneously, which is kind of my process for script writing. Puzzles, traps, and riddles. That's the biggest thing. So puzzles, there's I would say I could make a video on it, but I'm making 3 videos on it. The difference between what a riddle is, what a puzzle is, all that kind of stuff, right? I'd say riddles, and this might be a cool little thing to separate them. Riddles have the answer in the riddle. Like if I tell you a riddle, that's all you should be able to need to know to be able to solve the riddle, because the answer is in the question somewhere. Maybe it's hidden and talked in circles or whatever. But inspiration for puzzles, I would just think of, I take inspiration from my puzzles from my players' abilities. I look at my players' abilities, I look at my players' magic items, I look at what they have, what could they use in combination. One of the coolest puzzles I made was they had this like super ancient temple thing, and what was it? The geomancer had to move the earth, because the earth was in a certain, I'm not going to go into the full description of the puzzle, but basically the geomancer had to move the earth to separate out the earth, because the earth was constantly trying to close around this certain section. He had to open up the earth in a certain section to be able to let the ranger stand in a certain spot to shoot an arrow up into a small eyelet that then would drop, that would release this massive boulder that's falling, or it released it was a certain type of electrum type metal. It was this chunk of metal that the barbarian had to swing his mace at to hit it like a baseball into the paladin, and that paladin had to take the blow from it. That was a puzzle. And the players figured it out. That was probably one of the coolest puzzles they figured out, because that's complicated. But I made sure that there was clues and something about you. They each had certain items that they had to use in this quest. The ranger had to use his bow. The barbarian had to use his mace. The paladin had to use his armor. So like, how could I use my armor? They're like, we'll smash it into you. And so you go bang bang, and it solved it. So I just got chills. You see that? No, it's not gonna focus on that. I just got nerd chills from my freaking. That was so awesome. But like that's where a lot of the times I get puzzles from, is I backwards engineer the puzzles from my players. But there you go. I got whole videos coming on that. Poor paladin. Bang. I have not skipped your question, and I have not read it yet. Oh, you are 2 questions away, Wyatt. I see it on the list here. Or 3 questions. Oops. Jaden Tinayov. When DMing, do you have any tools or tips to help come up with quest ideas? Interesting. Tools or tips to come up with quest ideas. I don't really have tools or tips. I do have, and I'm actually going to write this down because I never thought about. Thank you, Jaden. I never thought about this being a tool, but it is. I have it on my phone. DM quest hooks. Right, I have my phone. I have a random. I guess you could say it's a D20 or a D100 table, but it's just a chart on my Trello page of just random different quest hooks that I have that I've thought of that I thought would be cool, like witch leading you to a trap, and then it's the witch, or an old lady leading you to a swamp, and oh my god, it's a witch. You know, that type of stuff. You know, or simple stuff like a cat's in a tree. Like I had one of my side quest things was like there's a cat in a tree. And I had that on my little list of town. I had a subsection of town random quests, environment random quests, dungeon random quests, you know. So I would say I do that. And then I might not choose it randomly. I might be like, oh, sweet, this is a good time for the cat in the tree. Bang, you know. So that's that. I never really thought that is a good idea for a tip, though. DM tips. Quest hooks. Sweet. Estrogen. Oh, hold up. Gonzor. Ooh, Gonzor. Gonzor with another super chat. Gonzor the Mighty will slay your siege upon your pitiful village, mispronouncing his name in an earlier question. Oh, okay. Oh, I probably mispronounced it. Again. Grosnor the Mighty will slay siege upon your pitiful village, for mispronouncing his name from an earlier question. Grosnor. There you go. Hopefully that's better, Grosnor. I guess that's another thing if you want me to super chat me, say weird voices and say weird things in weird voices. But then people might screen grab it. I don't know. And so appreciate the super chat. Bada bang, bada bang. This is the internet. This is the internet donations pool still. All right. This internet thing has been a way crazier journey, but we're getting better. We're getting better. Or maybe we're not getting better because of the freaking chat right here, right? Maybe it is my fault. All right. Next question. Estrogen. Have you ever run Curse of Strahd? No, but I wish I had. I want to run Curse of Strahd as a player. I want to play in Curse of Strahd. I know nothing about it as far as the inner workings. I know because I'm just a homebrew DM, and that's why I'm not gonna make up some crap. If I don't know something, I'm gonna be like, oh, what? So I don't know anything about it. Anything I do know about it comes from Steve at Lunch Break Heroes. He's like a guru on Curse of Strahd. So, but I just have never ran a module. I've started Lost Mines of Phandelver, but I reskinned all the goblins, the kobolds. There was a dragon cultist that was trying to bring back a dragon instead. I mean, I can't help but homebrew. Mainly I do it based around my players' backstories. So I just really just don't run modules. But I would totally run Curse of Strahd. Because that'd be cool. That's on my bucket list. That's on my DM bucket list. Question from Kylan Sonolive. Kylan El Sonolive. Question. What is your most valuable information you use on or behind the Dungeon Master's screen? My most valuable information. I would say off the top of my head, it's my NPC creation. We just did a video on that 2 weeks ago. My NPC creation is probably the most clutch thing that I've came up with to make those random people they come across not only more interesting, but a random guard. Like if a random guard comes across, I think it's back there, buried somewhere. No, actually, yeah, it's right here. I'm gonna get it. Boom, 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 bang, 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 bang. All right. So is a guard. I know exactly where it is on my screen because I have my screen set up in a certain way. They come across a random guard and I want to look at it. Oh, you want to talk to the random guard in this random town you just came up to? Okay, cool. 4. I just looked at 4 randomly. Envious and temperate. He's envious and sensitive are the 2 little emotions here. Okay, so I would just be like, oh, that's a nice sword you have there. Where'd you get? Oh, my sword's not near as good as yours. So like, just now I know where to go with this random guard that they encountered, and he's envious of the players, right? Maybe he's a little meaner to them because he hates adventurers because they have better stuff than him. He's just stuck in town and he wants to go out and adventure, right? So like, there you go. So I think that's my most valuable thing behind my own screen that I've come up with. Next question from Wyatt Ware. There you go, buddy. There you go. Visual said he'll DMs Curse of Strahd for me. 80. Hey, I think we broke the record. Thanks, Game King. Thanks for keeping me posted. Oh, what race or class would I play in Curse of Strahd? Ooh. I might play that. The first thing that popped in my head is that blood subclass druid, the monstrosity druid. Circle of Blood druid. I don't know. That just popped into my head. But Wild Magic Sorcerer. I love Wild Magic Sorcerers. Probably Wild Magic Barbarian. The new one coming out in Tasha's Cauldron for everything. I'm gonna go crazy on that one. But I'd probably do that Barbarian. The Wild Magic Surge Barbarian. All right. So Wyatt Ware's question: what is the favorite character you've ever played? Ever had a player use? Oh. What is my favorite character that I've played or had my player use? Okay. Favorite player that my favorite character I've ever had is a Wild Magic Surge Sorcerer. He used my new Wild Magic Surge mechanic. I could do a whole thing on that too. And we used my my D300 Wild Magic Surge table, and it was so cool. So cool. I loved it. I rolled super awful. I was very awful. And the rolls were very awful. But I took it, ran with it, took it on the chin, and role played that as my character's unstable magic. And it just, my magic short circuiting because I'm so unstable, right? Instead of taking the low road and being like, my rolls are bad. So that was my favorite character ever, for sure. Aeon was his name. Next question, DM Zoo question: for a relatively new DM, where do all of your ideas come from? That's a deep. Well, and that's kind of like what we talked about earlier. Like I have not been doing Dungeons and Dragons for forever, so most of my ideas come from outside of Dungeons and Dragons, and run with it. So I would say a lot of my ideas as far as story and plot come from my players. I want to get their feedback. I want to get their pulse check. I want to see where they want to go. What do they want to do? The session 0 I have with them. Like, what is y'all's favorite? This is a good thing. What are y'all's favorite movies? Is what I was about to say. I have at school, if my high school kids are wondering about Dungeons and Dragons, or like, what is it like? What is it like? I'll ask them, one of my first questions: what's your favorite movie? What's your favorite video game? Like what do you like? Because that's so much information on what kind of person they are. Are they Dragon Ball Z, or are they Avatar? Story or like raw power? You know what I mean? Like there's just different. You can infer lots of different things from what things your players like. So I would say DM Zoo. I would ask my players what cool things do they have, and that's where my ideas would come from, or cool stuff that I want to see or do. A great question to ask your players is, what thing have you always wanted to do in D&D but haven't? Or have what you wanted to do in a video game but haven't, right? I think that'd be cool. Like, and one of my players was like, I want to like tame a dragon. Whoa, okay. that's something to build towards, and let's see where this character come from. And then now I have to structure things around how can I get this group to eventually get to where that dude's training a dragon. Sweet. So next question. What time is it? 6. Okay, so we got some time. Let's go. Jacob Lohier has another question. How much homebrew is too much homebrew? How much homebrew is too much homebrew? That's great. That's a great question for the homebrew DM. What's that? What? Okay. Wife just came in. She forgot I was streaming. So how much homebrew is too much homebrew? The homebrew rules. What's that? Oh, okay. How much homebrew is too much homebrew is once you get to the point where you're confusing your players, or you lose track of what homebrew is what homebrew, or you're having to use multiple charts to keep track of it, or your players are getting lost with what's what and what's homebrew and what's not, I think would be the limit. I think homebrew should enhance the game. They should make it streamlined. They should make it better, easier, all that kind of stuff, more fun and less complicated, is what you have to constantly think about. Because if homebrews in general get a bad rap for extra complexity, or they're too overpowered and broken, but if what you are adding to the game far outweighs the extra complexities, then that's totally worth it. And I think a lot of the things I try and do with my homebrews is make it easier than the actual rules to remember. Instead of having to do this, that, or the other, it's very streamlined systems for all that. So Brian says favorite movie is Pretty Woman. I don't know what I would do with that. I don't know. Awesome. Okay, next question. MNPG Games question. How do you overcome OP combos from players? I just did a video on combos. Let's go. Conjure woodland beings to polymorph 8 times. Okay, yeah. That's such a crazy freaking thing. In general, I would say my players know I make sure my players know me well enough. And I like starting campaigns at level 1 for many reasons. One of them is they get a strong sense of what kind of DM I am as we level up before they're able to do the broken type of stuff of what you're saying. So if I see my players are trying to break the game like that, I would either have a conversation with them. If you're going to try and do that, that's not how that's going to work. And just completely cut it off at the pass. Like, why are you doing that? Are you doing that because that's what your character would do? Or because you, Randy, sitting at the table, knows that that's overpowered and broken and you want to power game this game? Like, what game are you trying to play, dude? Because that's not the game I'm trying to play. You know what I mean? Now, if we wanted to, session 0 again, if we wanted to play a game like that, where we want to all right, here we go. Y'all going to try and, I'm going to run it straight up on my end. You're going to run it straight up on your end. Let's see how things go. That's like the earlier question we had a second ago. That's a video game style play right there. And that's not up my alley. So I would kind of talk with the players of hey, what's your intention with this whole situation? You know? So, because, but if they find an OP combo that is in character, it's in line, all that kind of stuff, I would just make sure to have some sort of stipulations to where that OP combo requires a lot of setup and is situational in its use, and it can't just be one-dimensionally used. Like, oh, we're gonna always do this thing, you know. I had Joe the DM, one of my patrons. He had a thing where his players had this super creative idea to put a ton of daggers inside a bag of holding. And then they wanted to flip out the bag inside out, and all the daggers fall out, and they want to go high up in the air and then drop it, right? So we kind of went back and forth and homebrewed something where, first of all, are the daggers is the dagger falling straight down, metal side down, or is it the handle, or is it sideways, or how high up do you have to get before it gets deadly enough? You know what I mean? So I would just put enough stipulations and make them work for it, for this combo to be awesome. So they can't just use it all the time as this one thing that they do always, right? That's a good question. I love me some combos. Or if your player's doing crazy awesome combos, just scale up your enemies, because that you can do that, right? Hayes, how do you say that? Hayes Magoid. Another $5 super chat. Thank you, man. You have a DM power level over 9,000. That's over 9,000. don't want to start doing Dragon Ball Z voice acting. My voice will go. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. And Wyatt Ware, what? Wyatt Ware with a $2 super chat. Here's some doubloons for your pockets. Thank you, Wyatt. Matey, Wyatt. Oh, hey, so that's 5. That's 5, 5, 1. Oh, let's go. Oops. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. There's a super chat. Got it. We're up to date. Okay. I think my question got lost. Let me see, Rachel. Oh, hey, no, it's 3 away. It's 3 away, Rachel. I got you. Let's see. My moderators are on top of it. But at this point, I mean, really, I'm just gonna start moving. I gotta start moving faster to get these questions. Okay. All right. So here we go. I'm gonna ask in this question. I feel like when I have these questions, I'm straight up asking you guys this. I do want to see this in the chat. If I have so many questions, would you rather me rapid fire answer questions like pow, 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 to try and get through them, or still fully answer each question? Because I feel like I would feel bad if I just like half-assed the question, you know? That's kind of why I'm like, so here we go. I will pick up the pace a little bit, but I do want to see if y'all like rapid fire or fully answer. Those are my 2 answer questions. All right, here we go. Next question comes from Red Hood 2028. Question: how do you distribute gold for PCs or when players want to start a business? Oh man, I have an entire system for that. I don't have, and this is the type of thing I would have to literally stop and get my DM binder from that bucket over there. It's probably at the bottom. My player had started an entrepreneur business where he had this whole thing. So I did basically like how much money he put into the business. This is a little bit of math here. How much money he put into the business. I would take that, and then it would go through a bunch of calculations. Like half of it would go towards, or a fourth of it would go towards paying his employees. A fourth of it would go towards buying the actual profits of everything. And his profit margin would be that 50% that he had of his business would go into this profit ratio generator where he had a modifier. And so let's say he spent, at first he would have 100 gold and he put it in there. So 50 gold would go towards paying people and inventory, and the other 50 gold would go towards profit. And so he'd put $50 in, or $50 gold in, and he'd have a 1.2 times modifier on that. So then he would get, I'd say let's just say he has a 1.5, right? So he would put in 50 gold worth of profit from what's left over from half. If this math stuff's blowing your mind, then maybe you shouldn't do this type of thing. So I'm sorry for all the non-math people out there. So he put $50 in, which was the half of his profit, times 1.5. So he made 70. He made 75 of the 50 that he spent. Right? So he spends 50 into the business, he gets 75 back. So he made a profit of 25 gold. If you follow me on that. And over time, he had to earn, and what he had to change was that profit margin, that ratio, that percentage of what he gets. The 1.25 or 1.5 could turn into 1.75, could turn into 2 times. And eventually he got to where he was making 5 times what he would put in. And so he had they'd go to Dragon's Horde lair and they'd come back with 1,000 gold. He'd put 1,000 gold into the business. So 1,000 gold, he would spend 500 of that, send it away. He'd have 500 gold to put into a 5 times modifier for money, and then he'd make 2,500 gold, right, off of his business. So that was kind of, I hope that answers the question. That's a super quick version of it. Riley says, math nerd. Mods, can you kick Riley out of here, please? Thank you very much. Don't kick her. Don't kick him. Don't kick. No, I'm just kidding. And then, okay, I'm reading the things. Why did my question disappear? There's a lot of the chats just being freaky. I like the fully answered questions. Like, yeah, that's okay. Rapid fire sounds good. Oh, y'all going back and forth on me now. I could do a follow-up video for questions of what to follow up on. I do plan on doing, I don't know if it's going to be a Patreon thing or if it's going to be a YouTube channel membership thing. I don't know, because I'm going to update my YouTube channel memberships. I think that's one thing that are a little bit I'm slacking on right now is YouTube channel memberships. I think that'd be a cool thing to be able to have a Q&A for just a select amount of people that want their questions answered. I really want to provide that. That's a huge goal of mine to provide, whether I do it through Patreon or whether I do it through YouTube memberships. I'm leaning towards YouTube memberships of some small thing that I get. You can get a question answered a month, and I'll make a video, and only they would be able to have it. Bang, boom, right? Or maybe I'd make it public. I don't know. But I'd have the questions come from my YouTube members. I don't know. Rapid fire and explain details if it has time to expand. Overflow, Discord, rapid fire. All right. Well, we've had more rapid fires, so here we go. I'll try and rapid fire it. That last one wasn't very rapid fire. I'm sorry. So, question: which artificer is the fastest? Oh, wait. Is that a Stephen Harris? Is that a joke question? Because artificer is. Are you talking about DC artificer? I don't know. Are you talking about other artificers in the chat? And what do you mean fastest? Are you talking about which subclass can go faster? I don't know. I feel like you trolled me. We're going to rapid fire move on. And then here we go. Rachel Johnson, I got your question. I hope you're still here. When you're planning the big boss battle at the end of a campaign, how do you make sure the homebrew villain can stand up to the classic legendary monsters? Go nuts. Go nuts. I think I might have said this before in a stream, but my final boss battle was a Lich with legendary actions that could raise armies of dead at the top of every round. He had a villain action, which is I'm doing a video on soon. So actually, Rachel, I got a video coming for you in 3 or 4 weeks on villain actions that you can easily just pimp out your BBEGs for. But this Lich with legendary, full legendary actions, legendary resist, layer actions, all that stuff, was riding a Draco Lich, right? Who also had legendary actions, everything. And there was clones of the players that were fighting themselves or that had been built up across the campaign that had been like voodoo collected. So go over the top, go crazy, and see if their players can handle it. Because man, if you underwhelm that final boss fight, the whole campaign's going to end on a what? You know, so they got to feel like they freaking destroyed it for the big finale there. Scream Team question: how would you create an epic level piece? I got that one. Sweet. Jaden Tarasov, do you as a DM have any tools or tips to come with ventures? Okay. We're getting here. Okay, I answered that one. Cool. Playing potions. Is there a particular strategy for allowing your players to pursue small adventures in downtime while being important events of campaign or ongoing in the world? I did a video on downtime recently. It was my more recent downtime video. Where I flushed this one out. I've done 2 videos on downtime. Huge to be able to have and let them do these side quest things. So I would say all the answers to that question is in my second downtime video. The more recent one has like a village on the front of the thumbnail. But that downtime, you can let your players do these small adventures and don't make them work for it too hard, because it's so personal and to decide. Because if you make them work for it too hard, you're now ignoring the rest of your players. You know what I mean? And you want to make sure that focusing on one player doesn't ignore the others too much. So yeah, I would say make them roll for it, make them do some stuff, but don't take too much time on it, because you got to keep everyone involved, right? Or keep everyone in mind. Albino Reaper question: what are the best practices you possess as a GM? What techniques do you think you excel at? What makes those techniques work? I think I have good. Hold up. Let me shut this door. Woohoo! Okay, so I feel like I have, I can do good voices. I can improv well. I think I can improv well because I practice improv things. So coming up with stuff on the fly, making things revolve around my players. I think that's one of my, maybe one of my biggest strengths is revolving the game around the players and hooking them in. Like, letting them play the game that they want to play, whether it's their class, how they want to play their class, or if they want to be an entrepreneur or whatever. So I think there's any other skills, outside the box, creative ideas. I would say that's one of my goals too, because I try and push the limits of the game. Sometimes maybe too far, but that's part of the learning process, especially early on when I first started. We got a super chat. Visual, Percy the Demon Goat, and I just want to thank you for all the inspiration you give us and other GMs out there. Dang, thanks, Visual. You're the freaking goat, dude. You're the freaking goat. You are the goat champion. You are the satyr of this channel, man. I appreciate that, dude. I appreciate that. That's my whole goal here, is to inspire creative ideas, because a lot of the videos I just am throwing out ideas to let you guys run with them in whatever way you want to. Okay. I'm super failing at the rapid fire thing, so here we go. Question to explain: I'm going to put White Plume Mountain in my Homebrew Eberron game, but I don't want Wave, Whelm, Backraiser in the game. I have no idea who those people are, if you're talking about pre-made people. Sorry, Wonko Sane. I know nothing about modules. I've never even seen Wave, Whelm, or Backraiser before. So sorry, bud. Welton S. Lima question. Hello. How was the end of the 3-year campaign? Oh, so epic. So epic. Basically, a god was testing them the whole time. And it was so cool to see them realize that. There's a huge twist. I mean, I could really do a whole multiple video series on the story of that campaign, of the 3-year thing, because anytime I've ever told somebody, I put so much in it. Like, my literal heart went into that story, and the players did something with it I never thought. It was absolutely, I just got chills again. It was absolutely beautiful. So I would love to share that story, but it was a god was testing them to see what they would do with power. That was the theme of the campaign, is what would you do with power? Would it corrupt you, or would you be better from it? Or would you make the world better if you had the power to? So, got chills again. This was so cool. Thank you for that. Rachel Johnson again. Let's go. How do you make sure Homebrew BBEG is as powerful and as cool as... Oh, hey, there we go. Boom. Got it. I got you. What is your favorite race class combo from Jacob Lahir? Race class combo. See, I don't have a race class combo. I use a very homebrew system. I'm in the works of working on it right now. Once I can get some things freed up and things working and moving, so I can start homebrewing more documents and systems. I have a very free homebrew race type situation, so I'm not too worried about the race. I usually have lots of homebrew races, so I would say Dragonborn is pretty awesome. Dragonborn, Wild Magic Barbarian. Boom, that's a sick combo right there. Brett Christensen, what are your favorite homebrew rules that you implement at your table? Ho, 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 ho. Dude, you're asking the homebrew guy about the homebrew rule. I would say my top 2 favorite would be my short rest system, because it massively increases role play, and my bonus level up system. I have videos on both of those. Yeah, see the kicks. Y'all see what I'm talking about? This Kickstarter D&D 5.5e. It's coming. But yeah, so I'd say that is. Also, how many people do we have right now? If y'all can kind of throw that out to me, that'd be cool. And then cool. What is the favorite home? Oh yeah, I got that one. In your combos, have you synced 2 spells for a new effect? Oh yes. There's some pretty awesome stuff that I would let. Now in my main biggest campaign that they pushed the boundaries on, there was only one full spellcaster. So if he had another full spellcaster to kind of do some stuff with, that'd be pretty sweet. But I definitely have had some. I would love and totally open up my players to be able to try and double cast a spell. That would be sweet. 73, 70 Oh, nice. We were up to 91 earlier. What? Let's go. Sweet. I'm going to answer a few more here. Question, what's the most valuable information behind your screen? Got that one. Chat's not working. Okay. Can you give me examples of bonus level ups? I really do need to do a video on this. Examples of bonus level ups would be my barbarian wanted to use some. My barbarian kept tackling things. He literally kept tackling things, and I was like, God, there is not a rule for tackling in Dungeons and Dragons. So I made up a homebrew rule for tackling, which I could totally put that in a homebrew video as well. But basically, you make an athletics check. That you take an action, you move at least 20 feet, you take an action, you make an athletics check. It's opposed against their athletics check. The difference in that check, if you win it, right? The difference is how many feet they fly and how much bonus damage you get on top of your roll. So he would roll his barbarian like he would roll his D12 like an attack roll. It would be 1 attack, right? So that's the balance here, is instead of 2 attacks from a barbarian, he would make 1 athletics check. He would roll his D12 for damage, adding a strength modifier, all that stuff. And he would add the difference of the damage difference between his check versus the target. If he wins, they get tackled and they fly back that many feet, right? Similar to my throw mechanic, if you're seeing how the big picture fits in here. But he could do some bomb damage. One time there was a person not even seeing that. There was a caster just like in the middle of a ritual, and he'd like dun 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 dun, straight up tackle the dude. The dude got leveled because his athletics check was like a 28 or 30 or something on top of all the other, and he just got freaking splattered into the wall. It was nuts. So that's a bonus level up. I just made a thing for my player based on how he's playing the game. Jay Fur. No, sorry, that's my moderator. Rotomon House. I would love a video on how you built your campaign, like a checklist to consider. See, I literally yesterday I wrote that down. Oh, actually, you know what? I wrote down world building. I didn't write down campaign. Campaign quick guide. I just did a city quick guide, a building cities quick guide. I could totally do a campaign quick guide. I do have it's one of my earlier videos, how to DM for your campaign, but it did not go through like building a campaign. So, Rotomon, love the video, campaign checklist. Okay, gotcha. I'm gonna knock out these last three. Here we go. I'm making a homebrew world Anna of Spain. I'm making a homebrew world and wondering what your cosmology deities are like. How would you deal with how would you deal with this in the very beginning of your world? So I have my deities be as large of a thing as they need to be, right? In my 3-year-long campaign, the deity was one deity, right? Which, oh man, see, I don't want to give it too many necessarily spoilers, but we're deep at the end of a live stream, so that you guys have earned it. I created the hook of my campaign based around this. I looked at the cleric subclasses or the domains of the cleric, and I needed to make gods for them. As I'm making the gods for them, I'm like, oh man, all these different things. What if these gods weren't really gods? So I made 7 gods that weren't really gods, but they were posing as gods because they had so much power that mere mortals thought they were gods. So they were basically like level 20 people, and the civilization was very low magic, so they thought they were gods, right? And there's one true god of this campaign who is about to create all of existence, and this was his test, right? Which that's a whole longer thing there, but so your deity system should be as flushed out as your players need it to be. My story happened to revolve around the deities, so I fully flushed out what they did, what they were responsible for, how they affected the world, what their roles were. So I would say give them some sort of symbol, give them a thing a emotion, a domain, give them something to go over, right? So. It's tackle time. D&D linebacker. That's literally what it was at. Okay, that is 6:59. Oh, that is it. Okay, I think I did good at the end there. You know what I'm saying? I was going fast. No nat ones. What's up, man? What are your thoughts on rules light systems? Oh, see, that's super cool. No, that one's come in and snagged it. I have a very rules light system. I call it D&D light. DC light is going to be part of the 5.5 system that I do of how to run a game for on the fly, just standing around talking with each other, and you just got a few dice in your pocket, right? I do it all the time I'm going to show that comment. Yeah, dude, thanks, man. Thanks. To be able to run on the fly, I do it all the time at like school and stuff. Whenever kids are like, "How do you what's Dungeons and Dragons?" So, anyway, guys, that's it. I'm gonna try to see. That's the thing is like y'all like the rapid fire questions, but then you also like the fully fleshed out questions. So I'm trying to find the balance of it. You know, I love these Q&As. I think they're my favorite. But I love creating stuff on the stream too. So I'm going to do a community post. On the next live stream topic that will be not next week, but the week after. I do it every 2 weeks. Boom. And that's super awesome, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate my super chatters. And that was 30 this time because we had 90 last and there's 30 this time. So I appreciate you guys. 2-hour live stream. I know. The next move would be to do 2 hour twice every 2 hour live stream every other week. So anyway, gotta see you there at the end. Slid in there. So appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I love doing these. Sorry for all the random chat stuff. Maybe it's my internet. I don't know. I'm working on upgrading it, so we're almost there. Until next time, stay creative check out this live stream with no errors whatsoever, except for the chat, which is, I feel like it's not my fault, though. I feel like it's not my fault. Dumb chat. Thanks, guys. Hope that was helpful. Stay creative. Think outside that box. And then, ooh, check this out. Time out. And we're out of time. I'm calling a timeout. Oh, yeah. Later.